Hello, toys, and it's not coming up on the stream yard yet, but I did comment back to you that yes, you are the first one here. Um, yeah, so hopefully everybody's having a good evening, good week thus far. We're gonna, of course, wait a few minutes to give more people a chance to come in. I hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, so we did have an open mic night last night. In fact, Toys, your wife even stopped in to say hi, so that was cool of her. Of course, we did hear from Bat Goat last night. Um, yeah, he was saying he'd probably be traveling through Amarillo today. My guess is he'll probably, if I had to take a wild guess, he might be as far north. You know, I don't know exactly where he might be. He might be somewhere between, like, at this point, between northern Texas and southern Missouri. So um, that'd be my guess, anyways. Anyways, we're just, as I said, we're just waiting to give some people a chance to get in before I get started. All right. Anyways, Clyde, aka between Texas and Missouri, is right where I am. Yeah, well, that's just what I'm guessing. Clyde slash Woody. ah, hmm. So yeah. So anyways, we're just, as I said, we're just waiting. Yeah, I noticed you retracted your message there, Clyde. That's kind of. Hmm. Yeah. So we're just, as I said, we're just waiting on some more people to show up. See if let's see. I'm just checking the stuff here before we go in. Oh, there we go. Now, wow. Hi, Mike. I wanted to come back in as Woody. That's how I know you, man. uh, that's basically how I know you. So, and you do have the moderator on there. Um, Morning, Woody. Hamna hamna. How about loud? All right. So at least it looks like we got. Looks like we do have three people in here. At least let's see. We're at the 3.5. So how is your week going, guys? Hey, Woody, I missed you last night. I had an impromptu open mic night, so granted, it wasn't a full open mic; it was more selective. But yeah. So, anyways, so you guys have anything exciting going on for you guys thus far this week? They said, "Howdy, toys. I'm tired." Yeah, you were pretty tired last night too, weren't you? I remember you were talking about that. Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I guess with 3 people here, I might start getting a little started a little sooner here. Try to keep everything interesting. Right. So yeah, 5 minutes. Okay. So here's what's on tap for tonight. Got four stories. I actually have two that are comics related. One that's actually manga related. I know it's a story that Crows of Judgment also covered earlier today. And we have one anime story. So among the stories include a Shueisha editor contradicts Kevin Feige, and let's see, makes a statement. The Shueisha editor explains popularity of manga, which turns out to be a contradiction of statement to Marvel. Let's see, to Marvel boss Kevin Feige. See. Also, Marvel is pushing Sam Wilson as Captain America again, and they plan on taking identity politics global. Um, in a way to try to get some fans back from manga, DC is planning on killing off the Trinity again. Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. Um, Also, Jujutsu Kaisen and Attack on Titan are leading the way in terms of the nominations for the Crunchyroll's Anime Awards. So those are the four stories we have for you tonight, guys. Um, Plus, of course, this day in each history. So why don't we go ahead and Woody, you weren't here last night as well. So one of the other things as well is Batgoat came back, and that's how I knew that where he was basically, or have an idea because he came in said last night he was in Los Cruces, New Mexico. So after having left, I guess on Monday night. So also there was some tsunami news too, which I guess I can probably mention to you guys. Um, yeah, so One Piece is coming back to Toonami starting this Saturday. They're gonna have two episodes on at let's see, at 1:30 and 2 respectively, starting with episode 517. So once again, they're starting not starting all the way back at the beginning. They're starting somewhere in the middle. It's actually past the point where I it's actually they're actually further down the road than what I'm currently watching. So anyways, um, oh, actually, what he said. Hey, at my age, I'm just happy to make it up in the morning. Yeah. Hmm. All right. So, anyways, I did already kind of go through and mention what. So, I guess we can go ahead and I start getting started on these stories. All right. So let's see now. There we go. And of course, I know you guys have already. Woody and Toy, I believe you guys have already done it. But if you haven't yet, if you can like and share the stream, that would be very helpful. See if we can get some more friendly people in here. People want to enjoy the content. Without no further ado, let's go ahead and get to these articles. So here's the first story we're going to look at. It's actually a manga story, manga news story. So here we go. Shueisha editor explains popularity of manga. Quote, is important for achieving animation, unquote, stands directly in contrast to statements made by Marvel boss Kevin Feige. Article by Spencer McCulley published earlier today. So let's see what Spencer has to say about this. According to Shonen Jump Plus and Manga Plus manager Yuta Momiyama, Shueisha's decision to break from industry standards and handle the app-based digital distribution of their titles in-house was done in service of ensuring that the publisher continues to produce quality manga series. Sounds like a smart man. Let's see. And here's a panel from one of the mangas, Chainsaw Man, which I know people have heard a lot about because it's getting an anime adaptation sometime this year. Chainsaw Man, Chapter 85, Bloody Good Gut Feeling from 2020, art by Fujimoto Tatsuki or Tatsuki. Okay, so Momiyama elaborated on Shueisha's in-house distribution practices in a blog post published to Japanese blog site Note.com on January 9th. Let's see. So that was 10 days ago. That would have been a week ago this past Sunday, maybe? Via machine translation provided by DeepL, wherein he sought to provide a comprehensive answer to those in the industry who have asked, why is the editorial department directly involved in overseas development? Quote unquote. Quote, I believe that Manga Plus is a service that should be managed by the editorial department, unquote, he asserted. Quote, I feel that it has the potential to play a major role for manga artists and readers around the world, including Japan, in brackets, as I believe that overseas expansion will become, in smaller quotes, critically important for the manga business in the not too distant future. Hmm. Yeah, Shonen Jump comic right here. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought based on what I saw up here. I thought this might have been okay. Oh, there it says right there, My Hero Academia. I had a feeling this was My Hero Academia. Oh. Source: My Hero Academia, Chapter 267, Flames, Shueisha, art by Kohei Horikoshi. Let's see if you guys are saying anything thus far. Let's see. That's some big ears. Oh yeah, what? Back up top there. Hmm. Yeah. Good point. Good eye there, Woody. And of course, if you guys see something that you want to comment on, feel free to comment. You guys got something you want to ask or anything, feel free about the article. Explaining how, quote, one of the main reasons for the growth of manga sales overseas is the spread of anime viewing, unquote. Momiyama then noted that, quote, overseas popularity has become important in order to fulfill animation production and to continue broadcasting and distributing animation, unquote. Quote, in order to continue producing anime, money is, of course, needed, unquote. He said, quote, if the market for this business is larger overseas, it is only natural that works that are likely to sell well overseas will be approached to be made into anime, unquote. And here's another panel from one of the. This one's from Kaiju number 8, chapter 20, simply titled Chapter 20, 2021, Shueisha, art by Naoyo Matsumoto. So here, I'll actually go back up because I'm sure you guys want to look at these for a moment. Go back up and just leave that there for just a quick moment to let you guys sink, let that picture sink in. All right, so there we go. So let's see. Moving on to the next paragraph here. He then recalled, quote, "In the past, I was often asked how the surveys were going and how many copies of the comics were sold," unquote. Before noting how, quote, "now I think they are asking Manga Plus to see if the manga will be popular overseas when it is animated," unquote. Quote, now over the years, of course, Shonen Jump, which is probably one of the bigger, manga companies over there, of course, has given us such titles as Yu Yu Hakusho, Naruto, Bleach. I think we got My Hero Academia right now, um, among others. So One Piece, Dragon Ball. Let's see. Quote, "In order to expand the popularity of each manga in Japan, animation plays a major role," unquote, stated Momiyama. Yeah, so it sounds like he's saying that anime and manga kind of go hand in hand with each other in terms of as one grows in popularity, the other grows in popularity. As one decreases in popularity, the other decreases in popularity. It seems to be saying that anime and manga seem to go hand in hand a bit here. Um, Quote, "In order to achieve this, overseas popularity is already becoming important. The role and value of manga magazines is to bring new manga to the world," unquote. So they hope that, through exposure through the manga magazine. So A Gravity right here, or Gravity something here. The interesting character design there, the way they're drawing the characters. Got that one creature in the middle there looks kind of like a some kind of warped banana warped banana glove thingy. Okay, so this is from A Gravity Boys, Volume 7, 2021. Cover art by At- Atsushi Nakamura. To this end, Momiyama pointed out that um, one advantage of Shueisha's Manga Plus service was its ability, quote, "to collect data on new works that have not yet been licensed overseas, since they are being serialized and published worldwide in multiple languages at the same time as in Japan," unquote. So basically saying that they use the manga to determine if an anime adaptation would be popular or not. Describing how, quote, "the most important role of the manga editorial department and manga editors is to bring new and interesting manga to the world," unquote, Momiyama answered his opening thesis, writing, quote, "In order to create interesting and popular manga, not only do the individual manga artists and editors play a role, but the functions of manga magazines such as Jump Plus and Weekly Shonen Jump also play a major role." So, when you have a platform they can use to place stuff on, that platform can help you promote the material, right? So that, I think, is what he's saying there. Was there, um, an anime company that bent the knee um, to the woke. As far as I know, I don't think so as of yet, toys, but I do know that Yellow Flash has been talking about um, there is pressure being applied to them to do so, but thus far the companies have been pretty resistant to it. Now, one of the things that Yellow Flash talked about, like um, through Sony, there have been a number of Westerners who've been placed on, I guess, certain committees at some of these anime companies that do make some of those decisions. Um, but I think for the most part, the companies have just basically told Westerners to just shut the you know what up, you know. Um, so as far as I know, none of them have as of yet bent the knee, but they are the pressure is on them to do so. So we just have to hope they can continue to resist that pressure. All right. So, quote, to sum it up in a nutshell, manga magazines have the function and role of quote of in smaller quotes, creating works, nurturing them with readers and expanding them, unquote. He informed his readers, quote, we believe that by expanding the scope of manga magazines from paper to digital and overseas, Jump will be able to deliver even more new and interesting manga to the world. That is the aim of Manga Plus. So basically, it's like what a lot of the indie comics artists and writers have been doing here, like what a lot of people involved with Comic Gate have been doing. You know, they've been putting products out there and seeing, if there is a demand for them, and then when they see there is a demand for them, they keep producing them. So, well, there you go. And okay, so this piece of artwork is from Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 131, the Shibuya incident, part 48. Shibuya is I think, a prefecture or district in somewhere in Japan there. 2020, Shueisha, art by Gege Akutami. So, Momiyama then provided examples of how manga magazines focus on, quote, creating works and nurturing and expanding them with readers, unquote, such as, in brackets, testing, quote, testing, and, in brackets again, nurturing, new works and talents, unquote, helping, quote, manga artists and editors repeatedly meet repeatedly to improve the quality of their work, unquote, and ultimately on utilizing, quote, data gathered from readers, such as questionnaires, in the creation of new works and serials. Okay, um, end quote. Now, for those of you who obviously been watching the Friday streams where we're going back in time and going back to the history of American comics here, sounds like what he's talking about here is what comics used to do, right? Way back when. You know, you've all looked through the comics with me, and we've seen how there's a number of things, where fan interaction involvement is a key thing. Whether you see it in 1938 30s American comics or you see it in modern day manga, you know, questionnaires, puzzles, games, activity pages, what have you, along with the stories themselves. Let's see. All right, let's see. Hmm. As we continue on with the story here, or this particular news article, quote, these are things that are taken for granted in every editorial department on a daily basis based on manga magazines, and they have played a very important role, unquote. He concluded, quote, running a manga magazine overseas means that the editorial department will do these things themselves overseas as well. This is the answer to the question of why the editorial department is directly developing manga applications overseas, unquote. So again, they're trying to expand their field, you know, through promotions, through good storytelling, a lot of stuff that I think a lot of the current American comic. Oh yeah, this is Boruto right here. Naruto, the Next Generation. Naruto, Next Generation, Chapter 6, Buffoon. um, Art by Mikio Ikimoto. Hmm. Hmm. Honestly, it would be better. All right, yeah, I see you guys got some interesting quotes here. Honestly, it would be better if Japan hired their own translators to their own English speaking VAs. Um, yeah, I'll just read it from here. Let's see. Actually, maybe I can read it. Let's see. Honestly, it would be better if Japan hired their own translators and their own English speaking VAs and do the dubs over in Japan. Um, and I just brought, um, at least then the companies like Funny won't be changing the scripts like they do. Well, that's true. But you know, I mean, I don't think overall people have. I mean, I don't think like some localization is okay. In terms of what they're, it's based on what they're trying to do with it. It's like um like one of the things I remember because I have the Yu Yu Hakusho collection, right? The DVD collection. All right, so one of the things I saw in some of the little tidbits, some of the cookies you get with like the little notations stuff like that, is that in the original Japan, like in one episode in the original Japanese, they made reference to a Olympic cyclist from Japan. That of course, if they just simply translated that, nobody would know who that was. So I think what they did was they made it, for the English audience, they made it seem like somebody, sometimes the localizations um, are necessary to help people feel part of the show. But like, I know what you're talking about, Toys. You're talking about when they change the thrust of the story so they can push an agenda. And I think nobody likes that. And you do, um, so my cock out. Yeah, I know I yawn sometimes, but I'm still here. I'm still going. You know me. I'll push through. I always do. I'm the little engine that could. Yes, I am. I'm the little engine that could. Yes, I am. Anyways, getting back to the article here. Interestingly, Shueisha's quality-focused management style stands in stark contrast to the one held by their arguable Western equivalent, Marvel. While Momiyama's comments um, reveal that the manga publisher follows a customer-focused development pipeline, which I think has been noted several times by Yellow Flash in his coverage of all this. Choosing which series to support and promote based on their acclaim amongst fans, Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige told Men's Health last year that rather than the character's popularity, the greatest factor in whether or not they received a film or TV adaptation was, quote, how great their potential was for becoming a cool movie or series of movies, unquote. Now, the problem with that, though, is that, you know, it's very tough to measure potential. Yeah, because you've had some people with great potential at something and fall flat on their face because they couldn't execute that potential. It happens. But if you focus on making a quality product, if you like make a quality comic book or a quality manga, and you write an intriguing story, you make the artwork look great, people come to know it, and then then they have more of an appetite for it as an anime. I mean, some of my favorite, like Yu Yu Hakusho, underlying story of a punk kid who, you watch him mature through the series, you know, and becomes a hero. Naruto, underdog character, right? Hated by the majority of his peers and villagers because he was the container of basically a monster, the demon fox, and yet he came to be one of the Leaf Village's greatest heroes of all time. You know, these characters, these stories, if developed right, the fans will get behind it. They start seeing the character in the manga and comics, and then you decide, okay, let's put it out there put it out there for to be made into a anime television adaptation. And of course, there have also been some manga that I know of that have even been, now granted, we know here in the States, we know that, Netflix has tried to do live action adaptation. Now, I know there's a lot of argument out there that for the most part, most live action adaptations are not that great because the fact is there are things you can do in anime and animation that you can't do in real life. It's just at times, but then I do know that there have been some live action adaptation of animes that actually proven pretty popular over in Japan. Like the one that comes to mind most is Goku-sen, which is the story of a Yakuza heiress by the name of Kumiko Yamaguchi, who her dream is to become a teacher. And she, of course, goes into a school of delinquents. Basically, there is a bit of a romance that kind of develops between her and her top student. Now, it's a senior class, so it's like they're 17, 18 years old. And, and even though the anime didn't, anime ended, you know, after 13 episodes where, they had beaten up the bad guys you know, and basically became known that her family, Yakuza family, would be protecting the school, and anybody who messed with them were going to be messing with the Oedo clan. But in the live action, in the manga and the live action adaptation, they obviously took the story further. The student I was talking about eventually go on to college and become a teacher himself. and then he and she would actually, you know, let's see, will work for sukiyaki. It's all because of you. Actually, that was the name of a song, believe it or not, Woody, back in the '90s. There. Anyways, so getting back to the article here and see where we can. So where shall we go here? Oh, cool movie or yeah, okay. So here, right here is the a screenshot of Jeremy Reiner as Clint Barton, aka Clint Barton Hawkeye, and Haley Steinfeld as Kate Bishop in Marvel Comics Hawkeye 2021. Further, just 1 month prior to that interview, Feige told Variety that Eternal's potential for forced diversity was the reason it was placed at the top of Marvel's development priority list. So, okay, and this has been talked a lot about across the commentary circuit. You know, forced diversity. We're going, basically, he's telling everybody that we're going to force you to watch a diverse cast because that's what it needs to be. It needs to be representative, you know. And if you don't like it, tough. Well, guess what, dude? Take that attitude with us. We're not gonna give you our money. I'll we'll give our money to the manga guys. They deserve it because they're putting out good stories. They're not like trying to force agendas down our throat. Um, anyways, let's see now. And we, of course, continue on with the article here. Quote, well, the notion of switching up the genders, sexualities, and ethnicities of the characters from the comics was baked in initially, unquote, he said. Quote, that was part of what Nate Moore was really advocating for in moving, in smaller quotes, Eternals to the top of the list for us to start working on, unquote. I know that trying to remember Crows of Judgment when I was watching his video on this article earlier today. Um he was even pointing out that the Eternals okay, this is how Crows of Judgment put it. The Eternals within the Marvel properties is the nichest of the nichest of niche. That's how he put it. Which was kind of interesting. And I'm gonna need to step away from the computer because Chloe is acting up again. So I'm gonna have to go deal with her. I'll be right back, guys. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So you guys probably know that when you have pets and you're the only one in the house, you have to go deal with them. You have to go get them to settle down and all that. So yeah. So anyways, let's see. All right. All right. So you guys still here with me? Woody toys. All right. So anyways, as we get back to the article here. So of course we saw this in some previous articles. This is a picture from the Eternals movie. We continue on here with this. These opposing philosophies have also, unsurprisingly, produced similarly polarized results in regards to both fan relationships and monetary return, with Japanese anime and manga dominating both Western and Eastern markets, while Marvel cinematic attempts to pander to China have been outright banned by the country and its latest releases. Save the fan service heavy Spider Man No Way Home failed to find the regular audience once enjoyed by MCU entries pre Avengers Endgame. And what isn't that something? Pre Avengers. I guess you almost get the impression that the whole get woke, go broke aspect is an end game. It is an end game for them. They're just gonna keep going down, 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 gravity. Going down, down, down. Anyways, so getting back to the article here. In fact, while new manga and anime series are continually produced year round, Marvel has taken to not only revisiting every single one of their popular past storylines, resulting in such derivative sequel stories as Civil War II, Miles Morales Clone Saga. Oh boy. Oh man. And yet another Trial of Magneto. But near outright copying their competitors' recent successes, as seen with their, in smaller quotes, not exactly doomsday clock one shot timeless. Right. Yeah, I think there does seem to be a doomsday clock. There's Marvel Twitter right here. How will Miracle Man affect the future of the Marvel Universe? Timeless #1 is on sale now. Okay. Uh, anyways, I guess nothing new being said as of yet. Anyways, we're just about done with this article. We just got a couple more paragraphs here. Ultimately, given the rapid rise of manga and anime fandom in recent years, it seems as if Shueisha's commitment to doing right by their fans will see them continue on as one of the industry's top publishers. What do you make of Momiyama's comments? Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments. Well, he's got the idea. He's the smart one here. Feige's the numbskull. Feige's a numbskull, and Momiyama is a genius. I think that's the best way to summarize all that. So yeah, we're already at the 45-minute mark. Wow. Okay. Oh, let's get ready to head on to the next story here. This one's a comic story, one of the first of two that we're going to look at here. And this is another example of Marvel shooting itself in the foot. Sam Wilson to become Captain America again. Series will take identity politics global. Yeah, that's what the world needs. Identity politics. Yeah, I'm sure like I'm sure Asian people and Eastern European people need to be told, you know, of like just the whiny victimization of Americans. Yeah, of SJW Americans. But anyways, let's see. Um, John article by John F. Trent, publisher is. So let's see what John's got to say on all this. Marvel Comics announced that Sam Wilson will once again become Captain America after he relinquished the title back to Steve Rogers following the events of Hydra Empire. From Captain America 25. Wilson is also known as Falcon. So. In Generations, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Steve Rogers, Captain America #1. Wow, that's kind of a long title with a bunch of colons there. In Generations, Sam Wilson, Captain America, and Steve Rogers, Captain America #1. Quite a lengthy title there. Wilson stepped down as Captain America and returned the shield to Captain America. After returning the shield, he also penned a letter to him that states, quote, "Dear Steve, when you handed me the shield, you said you had a mission for me. Now I've got one for you. You're going to overcome this. I know you have your doubts. You wonder if you can earn back their trust, inspire them again, and I'm telling you, you will. You're going to be the hero they need, the one they've always hoped for. I'd bet my life on it." Unquote. And the source here is that very long title. Wilson will be back in the role of Captain America, beginning with Captain America #0, written by Colin Kelly, Jackson Lansing, and Toki Onyebuchi, with art by Mattia de Lully in April. From there, Marvel will launch two different series, one featuring Sam Wilson and the other featuring Steve Rogers. The one featuring Wilson is titled Captain America, Symbol of Truth, written by Toki Onyebuchi and with art by R.B. Silva. It debuts in May. The one featuring Steve Rogers will be titled Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, and will be written by Colin Kelly and Jackson Lansing with art by Carmen Carnero. It debuts in June. If they even have a YouTube um, trailer for it. All right. And then I went back down to one again. ah, and let me just. Okay. All right. So let's see. All right. However, as noted above, both of these new series will follow Captain America #0, where Wilson returns to the role of Captain America. Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Lansing detailed that this Zero issue is more of what you have come to expect from Marvel Comics, two people talking with each other. He said, quote, "What's interesting about Captain America #0 is that, unlike a lot of Zero issues, we're not going to spend a lot of time building the plot for both books or teasing out a bunch of amazing stuff," unquote. Quote, "The issues #1s are going to do that. Issue #0 is effectively a conversation between Steve and Sam about what it means for both of them to be Captain America simultaneously," unquote. He said. However, unlike most Marvel comics, where these discussions take place in coffee shops, this conversation will take place on a rocket. Lansing explains, quote, "But that conversation isn't had in a room sitting down over beers. That conversation is had while flying, holding onto the side of a massive rocket, heading into the sky to obliterate all of mankind because Armin Zola is back and he's got a bad plan," unquote. Anyways. As for Sam Wilson, symbol of truth, Entertainment Weekly reveals that Wilson will be the public facing Captain America, the one people think of as holding that title. Oniyabuchi would also provide some details about the series, stating, quote, "We have basically only touched the surface of the interaction with the Marvel Universe. There are so many characters that have yet to interact with Sam as Captain America, dynamics we haven't yet seen. It feels like the world is my oyster," unquote. He went on to reveal that Joaquin Torres, the newly introduced Falcon, would appear in the series. Quote, "It's been really cool exploring that with Sam, but also with Joaquin Torres, who is the Falcon in this book," unquote. Of course, Falcon being Sam Wilson's former superhero guys. As for the plot, Onabuchi's um, Onobuchi revealed it's about identity politics. Quote, we've seen Sam Wilson deal with the legacy of Captain America and race in very inward terms with regards to America. What does it mean for America to accept a black Captain America? One of the things I'm teasing in my book is what does it mean for the rest of the world to accept a black Captain America? That's another part of the equation, unquote. Of course, that's a very veiled attempt at preaching at these, woke artists and writers getting up on their soapbox. Hmm. He added, quote, if Captain America is in many ways a mini series of America with all the good and bad pathologies, what does that mean for the way in which America interacts with the rest of the world? Unquote. Quote, I'm a huge fan of action thrillers and that involve foreign locals and all of that stuff. One of the things that Sam has to do is he has to get to the bottom of the conspiracy. He has to figure out what the truth of the matter is. He has to figure out what's the reality, what's really going on, unquote. The comic book writer continued. He elaborated, quote, when so much of American foreign policy historically has been founded on operating in the shadows, manipulating federal employees and or members of another government into enacting regime change for the benefit of various corporate and bull. What is it going to look like when Sam runs up against the people who would wish to manipulate him for their own ends in terms of furthering America's interests abroad? What does it mean to be the symbol of truth in that context? Unquote. And this title is definitely going to be preachy. Captain America, Sam Wilson, #1. Yes, I mean, if you like the idea of being preached at, go ahead and buy this book. But if not, don't buy it because it's pretty obvious that they're going to use this book to preach at people. Pretty obvious. Lansing justified the plot by referencing Steve's decisions during the Reagan administration. Quote, Steve went through a whole process during Nixon and Reagan where he kind of learned how the sausage was made, unquote. He added, quote, Sam's going to be coming into that forewarned and forearmed. Here we go. I'm amazed by the idea that he really can't put down the shield the way that Steve could. It's really important that he not. So then, what does it mean for him to stand there with that and be like, in smaller quotes, okay, I'm gonna hold the shield, but I'm also gonna deal with this, unquote. All right, so as we continue on here. As for Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty, Kelly details the series will see Captain America questioning what it means to be a patriot. He said, quote, Steve is a member of the greatest generation. That's so important, especially now, because he's seen so much of the 20th century and he's really able to weigh it. With our story, what we really wanted to start looking at was how has America changed? What does it mean to be a patriot now? Unquote. Well, because it means something very different, even in the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen a racial shift in our country, more like um, crying victim, and especially for a lot of young people, a real fury and disappointment at what our country has started to do to itself, unquote, he explained. Kelly concluded, quote, Cap can't turn his back on America, neither of the Caps can, because the idea is good. Core is good and worth fighting for, but both need to wrestle with that with what that means in the year of our Lord 2022. Unquote. Agent Spider-Man number 537. Lansing would further add, quote, I think Steve has learned through the coach run Ta-Nehisi Colts, and I know that Yellow Flash had quite a few things to say about that guy. Run that there's a lot of inward looking he has to do in terms of his legacy and himself. Maybe he's become too much Captain America and not enough Steve Rogers. Unquote. Quote, in our book, he's going to be really looking at what it means to be Steve Rogers. We'll see that what it means when he finds a threat that truly needs his version of Captain America and what he has to step up to become that, unquote, Lansing said. He concluded, quote, what does Captain America mean to Steve beyond being the leader of the Avengers and answering to the government, since he feels he's handed that off. So what is Steve building? What is he organizing? What do his friends need for him specifically? What does Bucky need from him? Marvel Age Spider-Man Team Up number 2. I don't know where that is. What do you make of these new Captain Americans? Preach fest. They're gonna use these titles again. These writers are gonna try to use these titles to preach to people, to put down America, to you know, and just show just how thankless they are that they live in a country where they can't actually say that. They are allowed to say that without having somebody break into their homes and kill them off. You know, again, these woke people won't ever learn. It's a bad part for America about it. Anyways, we're just past the hour mark and we're like halfway through, so we're making good time here for the most part. So you guys have anything you want to add to the conversation this far, to the story and what we've been talking about? Um, hmm. All right. Well, if nobody's got anything more to say about what we've gone so far, I guess we'll move on to the next um, the next article here, the next story here. All right, and this one's been going around, I think, a bit today, from what I understand. Which also led to. All right, so, and this, I think, from what if I'm understanding this correctly, this may be the story in which we also found out that a guy named Daniel Cherry left DC. So let's just see if that is the case here. As manga continues to dominate comic sales, DC Comics' latest gimmick is to kill off Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and the Justice League. Article by John F. Trent, published earlier today. So let's see what's going on here. DC Comics revealed their latest gimmick to gin up comic book sales, as the company and Western comics in general get lampooned on a monthly basis by Japanese manga when it comes to sales numbers. Death of the Justice League. Again, the latest numbers, and I know Yellow Flash has done a number of articles on this. The latest numbers from NPD Bookskin for their top 20 adult graphic novels chart in December 2021 reveal absolutely zero DC comics are on the list. So look at this. This is the top 20 graphic novels right here. Viz Media taking the top 5 spots, and you have a company called Del Rey taking the next 2. Viz Media back again for 2. And then Kodansha Comics, Yen Press, Kodansha Comics, and Viz Media. Like Viz Media is Viz Media probably has the majority of these top 20 spots. Ah. With their sales seemingly declining and DC Comics publisher Jim Lee even admitting in 2020 that around a quarter of their entire comics line wasn't breaking even, DC Comics' new gimmick is to honor the 30th anniversary of the death of Superman story by killing off the Justice League. Yeah, that's something that's going to sell. Let's kill off the Justice League. That's a story everybody wants to see, right? Your iconic heroes put to death. Bravo, DC! What a brilliant idea! But my guess is most people don't think that's a brilliant idea. And as always, guys, if there's anybody new in here, if you guys can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Yeah. So, anyways, let's see. The official description from DC Comics states, quote, a new dark army made up of DCU's greatest villains has formed on the edges of the multiverse, and the best and most powerful heroes are pulled together in an epic war to push the darkness back. In the end, the Justice League are killed by the Dark Army, with only one survivor to warn the remaining heroes of Earth about what is coming for them. So, man, in the last couple months, Superman's really got it stuck to him. Got one writer who decided to have him, decided they're going to go back to a story where, they then imply that he was, aside from being tortured, he was also prison raped. And now, look now, let's just have these guys all killed off. Yeah, that's. Yeah, you can't woke, go broke, right? Justice League number 75 right there. DC Comics writer Joshua Williamson told Entertainment Weekly that he and DC Comics editorial team are quote unquote very serious about killing off the team. Of course they are, and it's probably coming from upstairs too as well, because so they don't have to pay the original creators any royalties. That's another thing that's been talked a lot about over the past few months, particularly in the case of Superman. So Williamson first detailed the connection to Death of Superman. Quote, it's an interesting opportunity to do this on the 30th anniversary of, in smaller quotes, the death of Superman, on smaller quote, which happened in Superman number 75. We get to take Justice League number 75 and do, in smaller quotes, Death of the Justice League. Quote, we want people to understand this is serious, and this is going to have a major impact on DCU moving forward, unquote, he stated. Yeah, I mean, again, this is, some people might argue this is also the way to get rid of the original iconic characters so they don't have to pay, the family's royalties. They don't have to pay the Siegel family royalties because the version of Superman they created will no longer exist. They don't have to pay the Kane and Finger families because the original concept of Batman will no longer exist. They don't have to pay the Marston's family because the original concept of Wonder Woman will cease to exist. So Williamson then attempted to appeal to nostalgia to hype up this new gimmick. Quote, I remember the experiences of reading the build up to, in smaller quotes, the death of Superman, on smaller quote, and then waiting in the rain for my copy of issue number 75, unquote. Quote, I think one reason that that story was so powerful was that after the, quote, in smaller quotes, funeral for a friend story, on smaller quote, there were no Superman comics for 3 months. Williamson continued, quote, that's part of what led us to make the decision that this was the last issue of Justice League. He then declared, quote, but then 3 months later, there's still going to be a Justice League comic. It's going to be a while, and that's going to be a major part of what the DCU looks like after this story. Quote, there is no Justice League, unquote. So Justice League number 75? Let's see. Wow, people have been quiet for a while. You would think that some of this stuff you guys might have a little more to say. As we continue on here. Quote, ever since Infinite Frontier number 0, we've been building to this story, Vincent explained to Entertainment Weekly. Quote, last year was a lot of fun and games, but when this story starts, it's the beginning of the third act, unquote. In other words, I think that's his way of saying it's the beginning of the end. The Justice League writer elaborated, quote, we're going to see things get darkest before the dawn. Justice League gets called in to fight this dark army that's been building on the edge of the multiverse. They go up against this dark army and they lose, unquote. I'm sure that's something that a lot of fans really want to see. Quote, we'll get to see what the ramifications are of losing the Justice League, unquote. He continued, quote, you'll get to see how the new heroes react, how some of the heroes that have been around for a while react. You'll see how people on the ground react to this idea that the Justice League dying, and then you'll get to see how the villains react. What happens when they know the Justice League is gone, unquote. And before I continue, I'm gonna have to step away. I gotta. Oh, hi, Mike. Hey, Clyde. All right. I'll be right back, guys. I gotta step away from the computer for a moment. Be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. Anyways, we continue with the article here. Let's see. As for how much of the Justice League will I guess forgot to put in the word be, it should be will be obliterated. Entertainment Weekly reveals, quote, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, the Jon Stewart version, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Aquaman, Green Arrow, Black Canary, and Zatanna will embark on this mission, and only one will return to tell the rest of the universe what has happened. Unquote. Justice League number 75 artist Rafa Sandoval would confirm that the characters die. Quote, drawing such a painful death for these characters after they fought so hard was tough. As an artist, though, drawing such epic and emotional moments was a big challenge. And I love these challenges. Unquote. Given one of the covers released for the book shows coffins marked for Superman, Bat. So this is a different story altogether. There was another story that I heard about earlier where I guess somebody from DC named Daniel Cherry left it, but apparently that's not in here right now, anyways. Let's see. Given one of the covers released for the book shows coffins marked for Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Aquaman, it's likely they will all die. That leaves Green Arrow, Hawkgirl, Martian Manhunter, Black Canary, and Zatanna might survive. So one of those in that second part right there. Let's see. Williamson would add on Twitter, quote, "Death of the Justice League. Not a dream, not an imaginary story. DC's greatest heroes are pulled to an epic war and lose. Welcome to a world without a Justice League," unquote. Fans did not take the announcement of the death of the Justice League seriously. Instead, a number pointed out how common the killing of the Justice League is. Zach Fig wrote, quote, "I hope no one has tried this before in recent memory. Oh, wait, Snyder did during the lead to Death Metal." I think he's talking about Scott Snyder there, not to be confused with Zack Snyder. Let's see. DG Get Santana tweeted, quote, "Oh my, the death of a superhero? How original," unquote. Douglas and others mocked the sales figures of the book under Brian Michael Bendis. Chubby Teddy Mon 2 wrote, quote, "We already did when Bendis is coming took place." Oh boy. Okay. We Are Dualism tweeted, quote, "I thought Bendis already killed the Justice League. Surely the sales show that, no?" Justice League number 75 will feature a special acetate cover featuring artwork by Daniel Sampier and Alejandro Sanchez. They also note that there will be numerous variant covers from Alex Maleev, Dan Jurgens, and Norm Rapmund, Michael Janin, Tony Harris, and others. Anyways, what do you make of DC Comics' latest gimmick about killing the Justice League? I get the impression that may be considered. Hey Doc. Hi-yo and hoy, Mike. Hey Doc, thanks for dropping in. If you can like and share the stream, see if we can get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Um, you know, hopefully you're enjoying the content thus far. We're almost an hour and a half into it, so we're actually, we're actually kind of towards the latter end of the show. So hopefully you'll stick around. And we got one more story. I've already actually hit all the comic stories tonight, but so we have our last story that our last main story we'll be doing, of course, will be an anime story. But hopefully you'll enjoy that. Tweeted the stream out. Well, thank you, my friend. Um, every little bit helps. As I said, if you can help by liking and sharing the stream as well, or liking the stream as well, that'd be appreciated as well. Anyways, so now gonna get to the last story of the evening here, which is gonna be an anime story, the last main story, anyways. Um, and of course, as always, guys, feel free, if you have anything you want to ask about about the stories, or you have anything you want to ask about what we read so far, you're more than welcome to. Um, Let me see. Just waiting a sec here. I think kill the JLA is just to hide the one they really want to kill, Superman. It's got to go. He's got to go so John Kent can be the one and only Super. Yeah, that's another aspect of it. One of the point I made about that earlier, Doc, was one of the other reasons they were trying to kill off these Justice League members was so they didn't have to pay the families the royalties for originally creating them. I know, particularly with Superman, that was talked about. That's been talked about quite a bit. Where there's been, of course, the ongoing legal battles between the Siegel estate and DC Comics, as the Siegel estate's been trying to get the rights to Superman back. So I think one of the things that DC is trying to do, from what I've been hearing, is they've been trying to kill off Clark so they don't have to pay a Siegel and Schuster family royalties anymore. But you make another good point how they want to push John Kent as the lone Superman now, and they want to just totally rewrite Superman's history with pushing the whole him being bi slash gay, whatever bit they want to, whatever agenda they want to market. So, anyways, all right. So, getting to the last main story of the night here, the anime story. Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen dominate Crunchyroll Anime Award nominations. See all the nominees. Article by John F. Trent. This was actually published yesterday. So, all right. Attack on Titan and Jujutsu Kaisen dominated the nominee list for the 6th annual Crunchyroll Anime Awards. This right here is the main guy from the main character from Jujutsu Kaisen. This year, the ceremony features more than 150 nominees across 26 categories. That's what about? That's almost six nominees per category, and from nearly 40 different studios. Crunchyroll also added new categories for dubbed anime series. Fans can now vote for their favorite dubbed voice actors in English, German, French, Portuguese, Spanish, Spain, Spanish, Latin America, and Russian. With the announcement of all their categories and nominees, they also opened voting to fans, and it will run through Tuesday, January 25th at 5 p.m. Pacific. So, an hour before my show, fans can vote daily. All right, so I guess they say they can vote more than once. Is that the thing? Winners will be announced on Wednesday, February 9th, 2022, on the Anime Awards website and across Crunchyroll's social media channels. Here's a scene from Attack on Titan. Here are all the categories and nominees. So this one's going to probably take a bit of a while then. Okay. Let's see. All right. So for Anime of the Year, and there are the pictures right there. All right. 86, Attack on Titan final season part 1, Jutsu Kaisen Core 2, Odd Taxi, Ranking of Kings, Sunny Boy. Best Action, which I'm thinking means Best Action Anime. Attack on Titan final season part 1, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train Arc, Jujutsu Kaisen, Yeah. Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. SSSS dot Dyna Xenon. Vivi. Fluorite Eye Song. Wonder Egg Priority. Best Comedy. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Heaven's Design Team. Komi Can't Communicate. Life Lessons with Yorimichi Onisan. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S. Taxi. Best Drama. 8686. Fruits Basket, the final season. Kageki Shoujo. Odd Taxi. To Your Eternity, Wonder Egg Priority. Best drama. All right, best romance. Let me see if anybody's asking anything yet. Jason Myers is here. Opinion on Inuyasha. I think it's okay. I think it's a good way to wrap up the series, and kind of lead into the future of the characters. There, Jason. Um, so here's the nominations for the best romance anime. Beat Stars. Fruits Basket, the final season. Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Horimiya. Komi Can't Communicate. The Duke of Death and His Maid. Best Fantasy Anime. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Core 1. Ranking of Kings. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 2. The Case Study of Vanitas. To Your Eternity, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Film. Bell. Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie, Mugen Train. Josie, the Tiger and the Fish. Shirobako, the movie. Words bubble up like soda pop. Best Director. Yuichiro Hayashi, Attack on Titan, Final Season, Part 1. Sung-Hoo Park, Jujutsu Kaisen, Core 2. Yo Moriyama, Megalobox 2, Nomad. Baku, Kinoshita, Odd Taxi. Shingo Natsumi, Sunny Boy. Shin Wakabayashi, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Animation. Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train Arc. Jujutsu Kaisen, Core 2. Miss Kobayashi, Dragon Maid S. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Core 1. Vivi, Fluorite Eye Song, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Character Design. Dashi Hiramatsu, Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. Baku Kinoshita and Hiromi Nakayama, Odd Taxi. Atsuko Nozaki, Ranking of Kings. Michinori Chiba, Skate the Infinity. Let's see. Loundraw, I think that's what that is. Flat Studio with Yuichi Takahashi, Vivi, Fluorite Eye Song. Saki Takahashi, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Score. Score, of course, is the music they play in the movie. Let's see if anybody's. Let's see. Oh, Jason had quite a few things he wanted to Will Ocean Studios possibly dub Chainsaw Man? Haven't heard anything in regards to that. I think that's still a bit of ways away. Chainsaw Man hasn't even debuted as an anime in Japan yet, Jason. That's going to be a while before before they probably get a dub. But with the way the dubbing industry is right now, I would say probably not. Probably not at this point. Let's see. Just because Ocean and Blue Water have not really been getting a lot. I mean, you know, look at the situation with the new Inuyasha series, right? Yashahime. That would have been a perfect opportunity for Ocean to do all the dubbing there, but the only thing is they had the actors who had the previous they pretty much had the VAs who had already had the established roles from the previous series remote study and then did most of the on-site recording in Los Angeles. Let's see. Opinion on Adam MacArthur as Yuji. If you're talking about the character, I haven't actually watched Jujutsu Kaisen. If that's he did a decent job. What is your favorite anime of all time? My favorite anime of all time is Yakusho, Jason. Anyways, getting back to the article here. Let's see. This is the best score. So Hiroyuki Sawano and Kota Yamamoto, 86-86. Yuki Kaijira and Go Shima, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, Mugen Train Arc. Meba Nua, Megalobox 2 Nomad. Punpee, Vava, and OMSP, Odd Taxi. Satoru Kosaki, Vivi, Fluorite Ice Song. Dee Mouse and Mito, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Boy. This is the best boy character. Let's see. Senku Ishigami from Dr. Stone Season 2. Izumi Miyamura, Horimiya. Odokawa from Odd Taxi. Boiji, Ranking of Kings. Ken Draken Ryuguji, Tokyo Revengers. Manjiro Mikey Sano, Tokyo Revengers. Best Girl. Vladilena Milze, 86-86. Toru Honda, Fruits Basket, the final season. Nobara Kugisaki, Jujutsu Kaisen, Core 2. Sarasa Watanabe, Kageki Shoujo. Shoko Komi, Komi Can't Communicate, the lead, of course, in that. Odo, Wonder Egg Priority. Best Protagonist. Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan, Final Season, Part 1. Yuji Itadori, Jujutsu Kaisen, Core 2. So I guess that's who you were talking about. As I said, I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen, so... Anyways, as always, I do appreciate any and all likes and shares. If you can help out with that so we get some more friendly people in here, that'd be appreciated. Let's see. Joe from Megalobox to Nomad. Odokawa, Odd Taxi. Luigi from Ranking of Kings. And Odo from Wonder Egg Priority. Best antagonist or best bad guy. So you had the best protagonist or best good guy. You had the best antagonist or best bad guy, basically. Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan. So he got nominations for both the best protagonist and antagonist. Eren Yeager, Attack on Titan, Final Season, Part 1. Tomura Shigaraki from My Hero Academia Season 5, Yano from Odd Taxi, Echidna from Regarding Zero Starting Life in Another World, Season 2, Inosuke Shindo Adam from Skate the Affinity, and Teta Kisaki from Tokyo Revengers. Best fight scene. Eren Yeager versus Warhammer Titan, Attack on Titan, Final Season Part 1. Naruto Uzumaki versus Ishiki Otsutsuki, Boruto Naruto Next Generation. Yuji Itadori and Aoi Toto versus Hanami, Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. Yuji Itadori and Nobara Kugisaki versus Eso and Keichizu from Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. Elma versus Toru, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid S. Vivi versus Yugo Kaketani, Vivi Fluoride Ide Song. Let's see now. Let's see. Okay, so let's see now. So hour 41. Hi, hey there, Rick. How are you doing tonight? Hopefully all is well with you. Let's see. Will Funimation merge with Crunchyroll into one big app? It does seem to be going in that direction, Jason. Hey, Diana, thanks for dropping in. You guys, of course, we're towards the end. We're on the last article here. I still hang around. This is an anime article. But you can always go back and watch it again if you want to get more of the information. And from Hero Shack, yeah, I might end from Hero Shack. Sorry to be late, but started. But let's see, started to say hello. All right. Hey, thank you for coming in. If you guys can like and share the stream, that would be appreciated. Help out, get the word out as much as possible. But anyways, going back to Jason's question, hey Chris, going back to Jason's question here, yeah, that's what it looks like they're trying to do. And then you have Sony in the mix there as well, trying to merge, but I think they're running into some potential problems, antitrust problems. They think that entity may be too big of a entity. So, anyways, getting back to the article here. This about the Crunchyroll Anime Awards here being announced here. Let's see. All right, so best opening sequence is the next set of nominations here. Boku no Senso, by Shinsei Kamatechan from Attack on Titan final season, part 1. Now, I think opening sequence means opening theme, basically what they're getting at. Kaibutsu from Yao Shobi, Beastars. Vivid Vice from by Huya Extended from Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. I Know Supreme from Fana from Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Odd Taxi, Skirt and Punpee by Odd Taxi. Crybaby, Official Hige Dandism from Tokyo Revengers. Best ending sequence or ending theme, I guess. Shogeki Yuko Ando from Attack on Titan Final Season Part 1. Yasahi Suisei Yasobi, Beastars. Shirogane by Lisa for Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba Mugen Train Arc. Nai Nai from Riona. Shadow's House Infinity from Yujiri, Skate the Infinity. Ganbare Kumoko-san no Theme from Watashi, VA Aoyuki. So I'm a spider, so what? So let me just see how much more of this there is. There's VA. All right. It looks like they got a number of things. I'm going to probably will just do the yeah, just I think for the rest of it, just VA performance. I'll just focus in on the English ones because that's probably the ones that most people are more into. Um, I've got 6 people viewing right now. Thank you all for being here, for dropping in and enjoying the content. Let's see. Yeah, we're at an hour 46 here, so probably end up going over 2 hours anyways. Let's see now. Okay, so yeah, best VA performances. I'll do I'll actually do the Japanese and the American, or and the English. Those are the two. Those are the two that most people here are going to be most interested in. Some of you I do know probably do watch some of the sub versions of the anime. So best best VA performance, best voice actor performance from a Japanese voice actor, or what they call Seryu there. Ayane Sakura, um, portraying Gabi Braun in Attack on Titan's final season, part one. Yuki Kaji, voicing Eren Yeager. These are the Japanese voice actors who are being nominated here. Attack on Titan, final season, part one. Kiyoshi Kobayashi, Daisuke Jigen, episode 0 of Lupin the Third, part 6. Natsuki Hanai, Odokawa, Odd Taxi, Aoi Yuki, voicing Kumoko from So I'm a Spider, So What, and then Kanata Aikawa as I Odo in Wonder Egg Priority. Those were the Japanese VA performances. Now the best VA performance for the English is nominated here for the English. Brittany Cox, Fina Pirate Princess. That was a Netflix production for um for um for Toonami. Laura Bailey, Toru Honda, Fruits Basket, the final season, which of course was a reprisal of the earlier. Laura Bailey has always done Toru Honda for Funimation. Adam MacArthur for Yuji Itadori, Jujutsu Kaisen Core 2. David Wald as Inosuke Shinbo Adams from Skate Infinity. Most of you would probably know David Wald's work as either Gargiel from Fairy Tale. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some other. I know he was the lead in Golgo 13, but you guys wouldn't know that one as much. Let's see. Matt Shipman as Reiki Kion in Skate Infinity. And Inari Kiones as Rika Kawai in Wonder Egg Priority. For the most part, I knew about half of those individuals, and then the other VAs, Spanish VAs, French. I don't think anybody here would know who would recognize any of those names, anyways. Do you plan on voting? Who will you be voting for? So, anyways, let's see now. Let's see what we hello. Last question, opinion, or on High School of the Dead. I have no opinion because I have yet to see that. I probably will at some point. I will watch later. Sounds like a good stream. Yeah, I mean, we went through Diana. We went through some interesting stories. Most notably, talking a lot about the differences between manga and comics right now. The manga industry in Japan versus the comic industry here. So we did cover quite a bit of that. But anyways, so that's the last main article of the night, guys, as we're about to wrap up here. So is there anything anybody would like to ask in regards to what we've covered tonight before we finish up? Any opinions or anything you guys want to add to the conversation? Give you guys a few minutes to kind of see what. Let's see. Yes, I was listening. Good night. Thanks. All right, so it looks like it probably is a good time to wrap up then. So with that, guys, we're gonna finish up here. And as we always do, we're gonna have the this day in each history segment here as 1897, 2012, and 2007. All right. So with all of that, let's go ahead and finish things off with this day in each history. So today being Wednesday, January 19th, 2022, let's take a look back at this day in each history, and I hope you guys will enjoy learning some of these interesting little history tidbits. All right, so first off, we're going to head back 40 years ago today. As on this date, 40 years ago today, as soon as I find it. On this date, 40 years ago today, the 65th issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, which of course started out as simply the Spectacular Spider-Man, went on sale on this date back in 1982, 40 years ago, for 60 cents. That's 2 quarters and a dime. 32 pages. The story was The Heart is a Lonely Hunter, written by Bill Mantillo, penciled by Bob Hall, inked by Jim Mooney, lettered by James R. Novak, with Bob Sharon doing the coloring. So, and you see at the right there, the so I believe in this one, of course, the heart is a lonely hunter. I'm guessing this is an issue where Peter's taking on Craven the Hunter. So here you go. So the 65th issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, went on sale on this date in 1982. So, anyways, we get ready to move on to the next piece of niche history. We head up to 1997. On this date in 1997, in the WWE, from the from San Antonio. Let's see, what's the name of the from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. WWE held its 10th annual Royal Rumble event. This was an event, of course, that saw in the main event it saw Shawn Michaels defeat Psycho Sid for the WWE or WWF championship. You had Steve Austin winning the Royal Rumble in a controversial manner in that he had actually been eliminated. Only the refs were dealing with some shenanigans going on outside of the ring, was able to sneak back in and eventually sent Bret Hart out of the ring. Also, this saw the WWE's attempt at trying to promote their own set of luchador talent, that's Mexican Pro Wrestling, with a number of matches that featured stars from the AAA promotion in Mexico, especially featuring, especially the fact that they were in Texas, to kind of counter WCW's push of the luchadors in there. You had the Vader defeat Undertaker, Ahmed Johnson defeat Farouk via DQ. This is, of course, before Farouk started the Nation of Domination stable. Hunter Hearst Helmsley retaining the WWF Intercontinental Championship over Goldust. And that's what happened on this date back in 1997, which was 25 years ago today. Also, and we move on to the next piece of niche history, which happened 15 years ago today, as on this date in 2007, the anime A.C.G.T's GR Giant Robo and AIC Spirit's Tokyo Majin would both premiere on this date back in 2007. So 15 years ago today, the anime's GR Giant Robo and Tokyo Majin would premiere on this date back in 2007. And one more piece of niche, history here to kind of finish things off with. And that is on this date in 2012, which was 10 years ago today. Unsupervised, which was an adult animated sitcom, would premiere on FX. So on this date, 10 years ago today, Unsupervised, an adult animated sitcom, would premiere on FX. So there we go, guys. That's all I have for you tonight. I thank everybody for being in here, for coming by and saying hi. I thank everybody for liking and sharing the stream, trying to get it out as much as we can. I hope everybody enjoyed the content tonight. I do keep my streams up, so if you want to go back and look over the stories and listen to my commentary, if you missed anything that might be of interest to you, you're more than welcome to. Don't forget, this Friday, of course, we're going to be continuing our historical comic retrospect, in which we will be looking. This Friday, we'll be looking at comics that went on sale in September 1938 from Centaur Comics, and by then, I believe Batgoat will be back with me. By then, hopefully, and we'll have the pleasure of his commentary, of his wealth of knowledge on a number of different things and stuff. So with that, guys, I thank everybody for being here. I thank you guys for everything, and I hope to see everybody back here tomorrow. Bye.